What's good? It's a boy dude reviews, and I've just pretty much watched Perfect Blue. Well, I actually watched it yesterday because normally when I do movie reviews, I tend to watch it and then review it straight away. But with this film, I kind of had to sit back on it and like sleep on it to really digest what I saw because what I saw was very odd. And yeah, anyway, this film is a 1997 Japanese animated psychological thriller film directed by Satoshi Kon, written by Sadako Moria, based on the novel Perfect Blue, Complete Metamorphosis. And the film, obviously, I watched in the English dubbing because these days I like watching my anime in dub, dudes and dudettes. Ruby Marlowe voiced Mima Kuriga. And what's the film all about? Well, Mima Kuriga, a member of a Japanese idol group, retires from music to pursue an acting career. And as she becomes a victim of stalking, gruesome murders begin to occur. Ooh, and Mima starts to lose her grip on reality. And much like Satoshi Kon's later work, such as Paprika, the film deals with the blurring of lines between fantasy and reality in contemporary Japan. The film has gone on to become a sort of cult film, and obviously it was really well received originally in 1997 in Japan, and it won a lot of awards. And yeah, I was thinking of doing like a spoiler filled review of this, but I decided maybe I should just keep it really spoiler free because I feel like this is a film I'm gonna really recommend to a lot of people to watch, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna tell you why I really liked it. Let's talk about the good, and the good is definitely the character of Mima and what she's really feeling and dealing with. Like, obviously, the film starts off with this girl. She's part of this free group pop band in like the mid 90s, and obviously she's like the main forefront singer and everyone loves her. But then she's got like people in her like career, like her advisors telling her maybe she should pursue acting to to make her name more known. And she's like, yeah, why not? And then obviously her roles do become kind of not as clean as like her pop idol persona, and she starts feeling paranoid, thinking that maybe what she's doing is wrong, maybe she's starting to regret this. But then she likes to act in a way, but then she starts seeing this like mirror image of herself when she was in a pop idol, thinking that, oh crap, maybe I should go back there. And she's starting to put herself down. But then at first you think, is she haunted by this spirit? But then it's like, is it more in her head than anything? Then all of a sudden, like, a lot of these bad things start to happen to like people around her. And the thing I like about it is that when these bad things happen, you think, oh, okay, all this stuff is happening, it's extreme, it's intense. And then it kind of thinks like, it feels like a dream. Like, it always seems to pan to Mima like waking up or her like snapping out of it. So you don't really know if what's happening is really happening or if it's all in her head. And I really did like that. At first I thought it's a bit weird, but then I was like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the Fight Club, with the whole deal with insomnia, and like how what the main character is going through might not actually be, fake, and it's probably all real. So I guess it's really up to the viewer to determine whether what's happening in this film is real or not, in a way. I think the English voicing did a really good job. Ruby Marlowe did a really good job of Mima, and she does this really kind of like country Texas accent. She kind of sounds like Miley Cyrus at times. So when I was watching it, it was interesting because it's like, oh, she's a pop star like Miley Cyrus. She's got kind of a country accent going on there. And I kind of like how it's kind of like showing the viewer like how a lot of singers have to deal with a lot of crap from like their advisors and just like the public and all that lot, and how it has a mental effect on them, how they get paranoid. Like, she goes on the internet and there are people like writing these things about her, and she has to like find out who's doing all this. And it paranoises her to the point where a lot of unexpected dark stuff start to happen to other people, like how celebrities and pop stars like deal with a lot of stalkers and creeps, like just kind of like being super obsessed with them and like doing these weird stuff. Like, obviously this stuff happens to Mima, and how it just seems to have this like effect on the character overall, and how like her emotions get the better of her, and how she starts to imagine doing these some of these terrible things, but it seems to be in her head, or is it? And it's the question that keeps flipping back and forth whether all this is fantasy and reality. It's not until towards the end that we start to get a sort of idea on what's been happening, but it still leaves you with a lot of questions in a way. I wouldn't say it's as straightforward as something like Fight Club in a way. If you know the movie such as Fight Club, you kind of know, you think this is where the film is going. Like it has that type of like vibe to it where you have this main character who's always kind of like in a daze, always kind of like sleepy, paranoid, thinking about weird things and all that jazz, and you're not too sure whether their dark fantasies and dark nightmares are actually really happening to them, and we still don't really know the extent of it. But I also really like how there's a lot of moments when Mima is filming scenes from the soap or a movie or whatnot, and you have like this doctor and this psychiatrist discussing like the characters like eternal struggles and what's happening. And there's a moment where you think, when the doctors are discussing like Mima's character in a way, you think, are they talking about Mima and this is actually real life? If is the soap opera real life, or is it just all in her head, or is it all actually happening? You got these three options and you just don't know the truth to which of the three is right or not. Obviously the animation looks phenomenal. Like I really did like it. The animation, I feel like, in terms of the visuals, really helps tell the story. It really shows you, like, you could put this film on mute and you could tell exactly what's happening, what's going on. It's so clear, like the way it's like executed. Like a lot of the scenes feel very clear and you get an idea of what's happening, and that's what I really like. There's a lot of like interesting like choice of colors, whether a character's feeling a certain way, whether when a character's in a room and it's completely red and it's just symbolizing like violence, death, despair, or if a character's somewhere else and it's completely white and it's just symbolizing their innocence, or if they're in a dark room and it's symbolizing like some sort of like bad aura or vibe, or just something terrible is about to happen. Like this film does such a good job portraying it, and I kind of like the old look animes used to have of this time period, like the old Cell look. I noticed that the contrast, like the blacks looks really dark. Like there's a lot of like dark moments. It's not like new anime where everything is so bright and kind of washed out. This movie, like, it's colorful, but it's not like eye-piercing colorful. It's not like super oversaturated. It's appealing to the eyes in a way, and I noticed that's how old animes were like in a way. And another thing that kind of happened to me that isn't really related to the whole film overall is that I got this film on Blu-ray on eBay for such a good deal. Like, I feel like the person who sold it to me didn't realize that it was a Blu-ray, and I got it for like £1.65, which was, dude, that's a bargain right there. That was probably the best bargain I had, because this film is worth like nearly £15 in the UK, and I got it for £1.65. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Great deal right there. But anyway, overall, Perfect Blue is a strange movie. I will say, in terms of negatives, it doesn't feel resolved towards the end, because the whole film, you think it's gonna go somewhere. You think there are certain people who are doing these bad things, but then it's never really resolved. You don't really know exactly what's happening, and when we find out the truth about what's happening to Mima and a lot of people, it just leaves you with more questions than answers. I feel like this is a film you have to watch more than once to truly appreciate it, a little bit like The Sixth Sense in a way. With that, I'm going to give this film, obviously I'm going to give it an A. I really liked it, but I'm also going to give it as 8 out of 10, to be honest with you. It's not perfect because there's a lot of confusing moments, but it's still a pretty good film, and I highly recommend it to everyone right now. Check it out, support the industry, buy it legally, no torrenting, I don't like that. But thank you for watching, subscribe to more anime and manga reviews, and with that said, thank you for watching. Boarded Reviews signing out.